everybody, and thanks for joining me for another week of the Rec Poker Podcast. If you don't know what Rec Poker is, we're a free online and in real life learning community for everyone who loves learning about poker and sharing their love of poker with other folks. You can sign up for free. All it takes is an email address and a smile. So go to rec.poker and get yourself signed up there. I want to thank our sponsors, as always, Running Aces Hotel, Racetrack, and Casino, and the one and only website Mark and website AMP. So we're going to talk a little bit today. Coming up, it's March 1st. If you're hearing this, the day it comes out, and we've got some really exciting stuff coming in March. On Wednesday, March 2nd, Michael Acevedo is going to be joining us for an hour-long Q&A to talk about everything that's been covered in his Modern Poker Theory book that the book study has been going over. On March 9th, Wednesday, we'll be joined by KL Cleaton in the new version of the Focus, where every month we'll be looking at different software available for different ways to train yourself with poker. And we're going to be looking at Range Trainer Pro with KL on Wednesday the 9th. And of course, Marek Madness is here, and you've got a chance to enter your prediction in a bracket that John Somsky put together with Taylor Moss. And you can find that in the forums here at rec.poker as well. But without further ado, I've got the best job in the world. I already told you I'm Jim Reed, Bluff Serini in the home game, but it takes a village, wrecking crew members. You can find out more about me by going to rec.poker/crew. You can also find out about all these cool folks here. So cool folks, why don't you share a little bit about yourself with Rec Poker Nation?
Well, I'm Chris Jones. You can find me 5B5 on Twitter and 5x5 on PokerStars.
And I'm John Somsky. I'm Poker Geek MN everywhere.
And I'm Keith Brandt. I'm Monkey System everywhere.
And I'm Rob Washam, and I'm Radman50 everywhere.
Man, you guys with your handles all the same everywhere. It's super impressive, very polished and professional. So every week we talk with, here on the Chats edition, we bring someone in who has an interesting perspective on the world of poker. This week we're talking with Jake Hershfield. And Jake's the founder of Unshuffled, which is a free online poker platform offering short weekly poker challenges for prizes. And we're going to be having our own Rec Poker challenge in March. And Jake's going to be helping us give away some free months at Rec Poker and helping some of our members learn a little bit more about mixed games. So Jake, first of all, thank you so much for coming to the show here today. And I can't wait to talk about mixed games and your program.
Yeah, it's my pleasure. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, well, we've been talking for a while about ways to get involved with each other. And I know you and I both, and everyone here has this love for sort of spreading this love of poker, making it something that's available for people, making it accessible, making it fun. Why don't you start just by telling us a little bit about what got you started in poker and sort of what fuels your passion for the game?
Sure. I guess if I was going to go back to what got me started in poker originally, I'd have to go back to I think I was in 5th grade, which is many, many years ago when the World Series of Poker got really big, and was watching on ESPN, and me and my buddies would sit around a poker table. We'd have $10 and we'd wear our sunglasses inside and we'd play together around a green felt table. We thought we were so cool. And
oh yeah.
It was just a blast. I really loved it mostly for the social aspect of it, just getting together with my friends and playing. And I kind of got away from it for a little while, but my dad has always been a really big poker player. He's been playing with the same group of guys for 30 years or so now. And that's kind of what the inspiration for Unshuffled was sort of watching my dad and his friends play.
Yeah, so tell me, so we're going to talk about Unshuffled. Let's get right into that right now, because I think this is a great, cool way to share poker with other people. What is it? How can people use it? What makes it so cool?
Sure. So Unshuffled, it's just and then shuffled.io. It's just a website. It's free. Anyone can play, any browser. You can now play on mobile devices or on computers. And it's a poker platform that was built originally for people to be able to play poker with their friends, any format that they wanted, over video and audio without having to set up a Zoom or use other software. The inspiration of this was during COVID. I was living at home before moving up to San Francisco, which is where I now live. And I'd walked into my dad's office and he was screaming at his computer. And, he had 3 monitors up and he was with his 7 guy friends from forever. And they're all in their 60s. And it taken them 45 minutes to set up the Zoom plus the poker game. And they resorted to just playing Texas Hold'em on, one of the big softwares because they couldn't play their 3-card Iron Cross Guts game, which is one of the games that they love to play. And, we talked about it and we couldn't really find anywhere to play those games. So what we resorted to was building this platform where you can build your own custom templates, save them to your profile, and then you can just host a room, a dealer's choice room or a regular room, customize the room however you want, as if you were playing together at home, and then share the link with your friends, connect over video and audio, and then play those templates and play custom templates like the ones you create, or just play the standard templates that we've created from games that we know or games that we've heard from our users that they really enjoy. So, the classics like Texas Hold'em in Omaha or High-Low Omaha, or we've got an Iron Cross game in there, which is a game that my dad and his friends love, which is a gut style game. We also have a game called Wally World, which is a ridiculous game with 3 rows of cards, and it's kind of crazy. But we've got the whole gambit. You can really do anything you want.
Nice. Well, I know we're getting a few premium members here in the session, and some of our listeners might not know we've changed our format for recording this a bit. So the Wrecking Crew's here, the guest is here, our premium members are here in the panel as well. So if anyone has any questions, feel free to just unmute or type your questions into the chat box, and we'll get them to Jake here to talk about it. So I think it's so cool that you have made it possible to program all these different kinds of games. So really, yeah, I mean, you have to go through the steps of setting it up once the first time, and that has its own kind of rigor involved with it, of course, but that's a really versatile program. And did you develop this yourself? How did you actually get to this point where it's such a polished suite of software?
Yeah, it's a good question. So I personally am not a software engineer. My background is mostly in product management, and that's what I did after school. And I went and worked for some big tech companies for a while. So I have some experience managing engineering teams, but never actually doing any of the actual development. So when my dad and I decided we wanted to start this company, we, hired an engineering firm that had sort of the resources that we'd be able to use. So we had a firm that helped us build it originally. Now I've got 2 engineers that are based out of India. They're awesome. And it's just 3 of us just kind of, we mostly meet every night at like 9:30, and we just kind of work together at night. And then during the day, I do my own emails and stuff. And that's just kind of the way it is.
That's awesome. It's great to have that contact with it, right? Just to have that hand involved with it all the time.
Yeah.
How did you sort of, so we talk about mixed games all the time. Some of our members are more involved with mixed games than others. A lot of them really just focus on Hold'em, but I think it's something that we're going to try and introduce more, and just like hold some people's hands and bring them to the fun that mixed games can be, because I know it can be a little hard to learn sometimes. So we're talking about doing some learning stuff along with your program here, and I mean, here, well, let's just talk about that a little bit. So while we've got you here, on March 30th, we're going to do a kind of Q&A demonstration of the next month's mixed game, where all of our community members can come and hang out with Jake and watch him do a demo on Unshuffled. And we're going to try and keep that going. John Somsky has these practice mixed games every Saturday night, and we've also got our Player of the Year race on the second Wednesday of every month. So I love the idea of getting a little more mixed games action in front of our group, and that'll be for community members, not just premium members. So that's fantastic. How did you decide what games to start with, and what is, are there some particular challenges about some kind of mixed games that we might not understand being outsiders?
Yeah, that's a really good question, and I'm glad you asked it, because it's sort of like the crux of where we are today. It's really depends on sort of the things that you just mentioned. So when we first launched, we thought, we'll ship with Texas Hold'em and Omaha as just the standard universal games that everyone can play, where the software will control the game. You'll start the game, the software will do the cards, players will bet when they're supposed to bet, the flop will be dealt, it's all controlled by the computer, the winner will be selected. When players create custom games, we don't know necessarily the rules that drive those games. So we have to give the dealer the controls to start a betting round, or deal extra cards to players, or select a winner, or winners in some cases. There might be more than one.
Right.
And that gets really complicated. There's a lot of different rule sets. Maybe you're passing cards around from one player to the next. And A computer doesn't necessarily know, you got to tell the computer how to do everything. And in some ways it's really flexible, and in some ways it's super rigid. So what we learned early on is that people who love mixed games are okay with some of the hurdles that come with controlling the game and doing all the dealing yourself. But for the most part, people who want to play poker online want to play something that's going to be fast and convenient, and speed is really important to them. It's kind of synonymous with online poker and speed.
Mm-hmm.
So we pivoted. We always have the custom games, they're always there, and we've started just creating more universal templates based on popularity from our users. So we send out surveys pretty regularly where we ask users what games they want to hear from next, or we just get requests from our users through our support chats. And we try our best to add new games all the time. I think we've got something like 10 or 15 games that are universal games right now, and most of the games are games that people have heard of, but a lot of them are games that people have not. And this whole concept of convenience and speed led us to our challenge series, which is something I'm really excited about, which are just weekly poker challenges. They're 10 hands. You play against our AI bots, because sometimes scheduling poker with friends is the hardest part about playing poker. You can't
Great
get everyone
point.
together to play for 2 hours or 3 hours, but you still want to play and you still want to compete with other people. So you come to Unshuffled every week. We've got 2 or 3 challenges going at once. You play 10 hands. It takes about 10 or 15 minutes. You get placed on a leaderboard based on how many chips you win. And then at the end of the week, we give away a prize. Usually it's like a $25 gift card, but people love it. They're really into it. It's easy to play. You play on your free time. You can play on your phone. You can play on your computer. That's been a big hit for our users.
Oh, I love that. And of course, you know me, I'm kind of a life nit. They call me a little thrifty over here. So I love the idea of an app that I can play for free and then win some actual real prizes. Now you're talking my language, Jake. That's awesome. So actually, and I love that idea of being able to kind of like play in your own time at your own convenience, but still getting the interactive quality of that. So these bots, is this something that I guess they have to be pretty versed in the game, obviously. How do you kind of build their gameplay?
Yeah, so the bots, a completely separate challenge, and we're a small team, right? We don't have like machine learning experts on our team by any means, and you all know that the online poker and just poker in general, creating bots that can play poker is really, really hard. There's just so many variations of cards and variants, but right now, our bots are programmed to play Texas Hold'em. It's really easy to take that and then move it into some of the other games, although they don't play as well in some of the other games. We have to make some changes to the algorithm. And the way it works, they just take in a couple of different variables. Things like, how many players are still on the hand, how many chips do they stand to win, what's their expected value, things like that. We run through a couple of simulations based on the cards that they have. So like 500. They get a value or a score based on the cards that they have of how good their hand is, plug it into a formula, and then they make a decision. And it's not always right. Sometimes they say do things and you're like, don't know if that's what I would have done.
Hey, we do that too. We see that at the real tables too, man.
You know what? It's not perfect, and it makes it really hard to play against them sometimes because you're like, why did this bot stay in with like an ace high and there's a pair on the table? And yeah, it's pretty funny, but it's fun. It's fun to try and fix and tinker with that, because that part's really interesting.
Yeah,
I say that after my own play some of the time. That's not what I would have done.
Yeah, Rob, did you have something you want to jump in there with?
I was just curious. I've been on the site. I kind of played a couple games on it. It's kind of fun. You mentioned that you've been putting some of these, making some of these games universal, some of the games that the people have created. What is the most unusual game that you have on that site that we might not know of? I mean, I imagine, everybody knows PLO, everybody knows PLO 8, those types of things. Is there a game that you've made universal yet that is just unique?
Definitely. There are 2, but for the sake of description, I think I'll stick to the non-gut style game because it's just like a totally different way of playing poker. But we do support guts games, where you would drop cards. We built this really cool way of players can decide whether they want to stay or drop. And then we don't show everyone's decision until all players have decided. So you don't have any bias of whether you want to stay or drop. It's pretty unique to what we have, but it's this game called Wally World. It's a high-low game similar to Omaha. But the community cards, there's 2 rows of 4 and then a row of 3 on the bottom. Each player is dealt 4 cards, and there's a betting round to start the game. Just like you play blinds, there's a betting round to start the game. And then the 2 cards are flipped from the top row and 2 cards are flipped from the middle row. Another betting round. And then you flip the last 2 cards from both top and middle row. Another betting round. Then you flip 2 cards from the bottom row. Another betting round. And then you flip 1 more card on the last card on the bottom row. And there's 1 more betting round. And the best 5-card hand, high and low, wins. But it's a combination of, you must use 2 cards from the top row or 2 cards from the bottom row. And you must use 1 card. Sorry, 2 cards from the top row, 2 cards from the middle row, and you must use 1 card from the bottom row. So it's complicated,
man.
but it's a fun game because there might not be a low hand if there's no low card in the bottom row. And you don't know until the second to last betting round.
Right.
So you might have a really good low hand, but you never know.
But if you're using 2 cards from the top row, 2 cards from the middle row, and 1 card from the bottom row, that's 5 cards.
Sorry, 2 cards from the top row or 2 cards from the middle row.
Okay.
Yeah,
And then 2 cards from your hand.
And then 2 cards from
And
your
then
hand.
2 cards from your hand. Okay, that makes sense. I was a little confused there.
Yeah.
That sounds absolutely, I'm gonna have to try that. That sounds like hell of a lot of fun.
It's a lot of fun, and we do our best to have descriptions for every universal game we have. We have our own help center, and so each game has a description of exactly how it plays. I'd like to get to a place where whenever you play one of these games, we have an option to play a video that walks you through it, because we have the videos, but they're not integrated into the games themselves yet. But that would be a great thing to have, because the onboarding, I mean, even just trying to talk about it right now, it's complicated.
So we got a question from Keith in here. What about other kind of non-poker games like cribbage or hearts or gin? How much variety can you put into the structure of these?
So I think if you wanted to play those games, if you really, really had a burning desire to play those games on Unshuffled, you could find a way to do it. But it would take a little bit of extra work and workarounds, because right now, most of the turns and games are based around wagering chips and calling chips. So without the chip structure, it's hard to do that. But in our manual games, the way that they're set up, you can have turn rounds in which no chips are bet. You can just put a card you can discard a card, or you can draw a card. So I think you could play most games, but it just takes a little more work.
Cool. Well, I think most games are more fun when losing something hurts a little bit, so I think that's important.
I agree.
So tell me a little bit more about these challenges, because I know we've got an exciting surprise coming up. But so it's like 10 questions, you play against the bots, and then you're kind of competing against everyone else in the world that's doing those challenges at the same time, right?
Yeah. So as an example, we've got 3 challenges on Unshuffled right now. And 2 are going to end at the end of the day today, and then we'll have 2 more that will go through the end of the week. They usually open on Monday, and then they close the following Monday. So you have 7 days to get in and play. And then each challenge, right now, all of our challenges are Texas Hold'em challenges, because like I said, right now the bots are mostly programmed for Texas Hold'em.
Sure.
But pretty easy to make those changes to fit those other games. And you play 10, maybe we'll do 50 hands. We can alter the number of hands and the number of bots you play against. And it takes 10 or 15 minutes, you play, and then when you're done, your score, which is based on the number of chips you won, and you get some other cool analytics like how many chips you win per hand and stuff like that, is put on a leaderboard, and you're rated based against everyone else that has played in that challenge. And we've got users from all over the world, so you'll be ranked against people like in New York or in India or in Australia or Indonesia. Like, we do have people who are playing from really everywhere. And it's cool. Right now, the challenges don't get too many people playing in them, so you always have a chance to win.
Mm-hmm.
maybe like 50 people in a week or something like that. It's nothing crazy. But we do have, it's growing, and we're hoping to grow it a lot. We're actually going to launch, I'm not sure if you guys remember HQ Trivia, that like trivia
Sure.
app.
Yeah.
So we're going to launch at the end of March. Actually, we're going to be launching like a series of poker challenges where they all start at the same time, and each player will actually be playing with the exact same cards against the exact same computer players, synchronized. So we'll be able to see which players are actually playing the hand the best.
That's amazing. That's the
It's
real
really kind of
test
fun.
right there. Yeah, isolate those variables and let the skill be what determines who
Exactly.
rises to the top. I love that. That's what poker should be. That's beautiful, man. It was a great vision for this whole project and for this tool. So, is it? How long have you been working on this? And is it still like super exciting to you when you wake up in the morning and you're thinking about it?
Yeah, so I've been working on it. It will be 2 years in June. So it's been like, I don't know, almost a little over a year and a half, probably. Yeah, I'm super excited. I think the things that excite me about it are we've got, I think, the fundamental pieces of a really, really awesome product and a full platform. And now how do we share it with people who are maybe really interested in poker, and then people who aren't as interested in poker, but are interested in playing games and socializing with other people. That's what's really driving me at this stage. It's by far the hardest part because my background is in product and building products, and I really enjoy that. The marketing and like getting it out there, that stuff is really difficult for me, but it's an interesting challenge, and I'm excited to sort of face it head on and see if we can't find a way to make this not only a really fun venture for me and my dad and the people around us, but also make it something that's with value. That'd be really cool too. I'd be pretty happy with that.
Yeah, man. And we know what it's like to sort of truly believe in what you're doing and to love it. And I think that passion that you have is infectious, and people are going to notice that you really get behind it, and you want to be a force for good in the poker world. So we're going to team up and give away some prizes in March. If you're listening to this podcast on the day it comes out, it's March 1st. So next week, we're going to be running our own Rec Poker challenge on Unshuffled. So people will get a chance to go to unshuffled.io. You'll see our Rec Poker gear there. We're going to be giving away at least one free month of premium membership at Rec Poker. And if we get a bunch of people signing up, maybe we'll give out a couple other months. There's a free coaching session or something like that. And that's going to be, I think we talked about like from March 8th to 18th or something like that. People get a chance to dive into that and give it a try. And not just Rec Poker members, anybody can compete in that tournament, right? So we're going to get a chance to compete against everyone else in the world and hopefully get some Rec Poker members at the top of the leaderboard, right?
That's exactly right. And the way that it'll work is we're going to only have one challenge for the whole 10-day period. It'll just be the Rec Poker challenge. And yeah, we'll also do a little prize giveaway ourselves. That'll be maybe an Amazon gift card or something just to incentivize people a little bit more, but should be a lot of fun.
I can't wait. And I think, gang, we should do a personal one-on-one challenge for the group here, everyone on the Wrecking Crew, for who can place higher in the standings for that one. And then, or maybe like a reverse challenge for whoever places lower has to do something really embarrassing for the rest of us. We'll figure that out. I like that idea. A little camaraderie around here. Well, if anyone else has any other questions, feel free to type them in the chat or unmute here. So Jake, it's just that simple. People should go to www.unshuffled.io. Everything they can find is there. It's simple to sign up. How can people like find their friends or play with people they want to play with?
Yeah, so that's a good question. So we have public rooms that are always open. They're always full with some computer players, so you can always play against people if you don't have people to play with. People can join your table whenever you're playing as well. It's totally free. There's no paywall on anything that we're doing. So once you get in, it'll be really easy to see how to host your room. And then you can either schedule something in advance and you'll get an email and you can forward that to your friends with the link to the room, or you can just copy the link and share it with your friends. We also use the room code sort of structure. So if you're familiar with Zoom and you're trying to join a Zoom and it's like, enter your room code here, we have that same thing. Mm-hmm. So none of the social stuff's built into the platform yet, but it's really easy to start a room and share with your friends, or just share the link to the challenges to other people.
Yeah, that's awesome. I think Chris has a great idea here. We should get a Rec Poker Twitch stream of a Wally World game. I'm intrigued by that game too. That does sound like fun, and that is a fun idea. We should maybe do some Twitch coverage from that kind of stuff, because we, between Taylor and Tim, Keith, Chris, like lots of people here have regular twitching sessions, and that would be a fun way to introduce some more people to the program and to have some fun with some mixed games in a way that we all just get to enjoy for free, which is our favorite way to do anything around here.
Absolutely. We can definitely set that up and make sure we get some of that Rec Poker logos and icons on everyone's profile, so that they're playing with that stuff on the cards and stuff.
There you go. I love it. All right. Well, thanks so much, Jake. I hope we get to see an uptick in members coming by and checking it out. And everyone, be sure to pay attention on May 8th through 18th. Go in, sign up for free, play some games, play the challenge. Can people play the challenge more than once, or is it tied to their user account or something?
That's a great question. So most of the challenges, we limit the number of attempts to 1.
Yeah.
Because if there's more than 1 attempt, you can kind of just go all in a lot, and then so you do well, you're in.
Sure, yeah.
But if you refer a friend with your referral code, you get a bonus attempt, and there's no limit to the number of bonus attempts you can get. So the more friends you refer, the more attempts you have, the more opportunities you have to win. So sign up, refer your friends, and if you refer a friend, you and the friend get a bonus attempt. So it's sort of like a double referral thing.
Savvy move, Jake. And I think the April game that we're setting up for here at Rec Poker, the theme for April is Limit Hold'em. So we'll be dealing with Limit Hold'em in the month of March when it comes to our Q&A and our demo. But the challenge will be in old, reliable, no limit Hold'em, so people can go and dip their toe in there, and maybe they'll get enticed to dip that toe a little further into the waters of mixed games. Wouldn't that be nice? Yep. All right. Well, cheers. Jake, are you on Twitter? Is there anywhere else people can reach out to you, or just go to the site and sign up?
Yeah, go to the site and sign up. You can find us on Twitter, just at Unshuffled.
Yep.
And then you can also find us on Instagram. We also have a TikTok, Unshuffled Guy.
Ooh.
Trying to get in with the younger generation, which is kind of fun.
There you go. And, do like little dances and everything?
Yeah, well, not me personally, mostly game tutorials, but we're working on it.
Right on, man. Well, thanks, Jake. This was a real pleasure. Thank you so much for joining us. I'm really looking forward to sharing this love of mixed games with everybody at Rec Poker and beyond. So I know we'll be seeing you in March, and hopefully a lot more beyond that.
Yeah, it's a pleasure to be here. I love working with you guys. I love the Rec Poker team. So it's really fun to finally get this thing going. And I'll see you all hopefully soon.
All right, man. You take care until then.
Yep. All right. See you guys. All
right. John Somsky, the one and only, the king of the Rec Poker home games. We've got Ryan LaPlante was on the show last week, and Chris Jones was pinch hitting, so we didn't get a chance to talk about last week's home game winners. So we're gonna celebrate a whole bunch of people today, aren't we?
Yes, we have 2 weeks worth. And you know that I was getting all sorts of crap because, somebody who won the mixed game series said, I want my name announced. I want it now. And I said, well, you're just going to have to wait. Chris doesn't want to mention your name. So I'm not going to say who it is, but you'll find out soon enough. So with that, on February 9th, in No Limit Deuce to 7 triple draw, Gopher Boy TJM Taylor Moss won his first mixed game of the year and his 5th lifetime.
Oh my God. Wow. I'm starting to think Taylor Moss might actually be good at poker.
Yeah, I think he's going to give Patty a run for his money here.
Yep.
So we shall see there.
All right.
Then in our daily series, nightly events, Isma Spike won his first of the year, 7th lifetime.
He's back.
And Digging 8 Graves, Chris Simone, or Simonu. Yes. Simonu.
Congratulations, Chris.
Got his first nightly victory of the year. I think I know who Chris is. I think. But I don't know how to spell or pronounce that name nonetheless.
Oh, wait. We have to interrupt John. It's been too long since we interrupted John. And when I did the home games last time, they interrupted me, which reminded me of how much fun this is. I put this in Discord earlier. It's March 1st, if you're listening to this. Between March 1st and the first card being dealt in the WSOP, if you send me a photograph of you buying John Somsky a beer, I will buy you a beer in Las Vegas when we get down there. This is in Discord. It's on the public record. John, feel free to substitute other beverages according to the time and place, but that is on the record. John does so much freaking work here for Rec Poker and in the home games. He deserves more credit for it. He deserves more appreciation for it. We're going to show that appreciation in the form of beer bought by friends and strangers. And then that gives me a chance to have a beer with some fun people in Vegas too. So,
well, and keep in mind, if we get enough people to do this, as far as I'm concerned, you can buy me a water, like a free tap water, and then we will just bankrupt Jim by doing that.
I am not opposed to that, but I want a photo. I want to get a photo, tweet me or email me or post it in the site or something. I want a photo of you buying John a beer or a cold, refreshing glass of water. And then we'll have ourselves a beer in Vegas.
That might be the harder part, in that I am fairly camera shy. For months, I didn't even have my webcam turned. Well, I didn't have a webcam. But anyway, on to Brown Eyes 13-120. Nikki Smith got her first nightly victory for the year.
Nice.
GF Hawk, Eric Romo got his first nightly victory for the year. Poker Geek and Men, John Somsky got his first nightly victory for the year.
Yeah. There you go.
It clearly shows you that anyone can win one of these.
Anyone can win one in a month. I don't, that could happen to anybody.
That's true. Then we have Wolfman 109, Adam Wolf. Won his first daily mixed practice game for the year.
Oh, mixed game winner.
Max Chaos 2112, Greg Clem. Won his first international game for the year.
Our
K-Poker wannabe Ron Payton won his first international game for the year. And then Uncle Tom's Cabin,
he's back.
Jeff S. won the LPP Sunday event. So you can contact Jim at rec.poker and get your free month at Learn Pro Poker.
Oh yeah, you don't want to miss out on that, Jeff. There's some good stuff with Ryan LaPlante and the team over there at Learn Pro Poker. Let's get you signed up.
And now we're just halfway through. We've gotten done with the first week. So we'll move on to week number 2. We have on February 14th, we had the Tournament of Champions for all of the people who won a daily series event during January. And Stewie 13, Stuart Kendricks, got his second Tournament of Champions win lifetime, first for this year, and won a silver pin.
I just saw him last week. I gave him a silver pin. He won like 2 months ago. Stu is on a freaking roll, man. He's he might be like that dark horse under the radar, one of the better poker players in this group, to be honest with you. He knows what he's doing.
Yeah, I attribute a lot of that to the time, he's part of Kim's crew there, and they do lots of studying together.
They do.
And that crew just kind of kicks butt.
They do. You said it, man. I play in a satellite pool with the 3 of them because I'm an idiot. And it's a tough crowd. Those Canadian hustlers, they know how to bust a move, no doubt.
Then we have a big deal. 1992 won his or her first daily victory for the year. Magra 44 is back. Doug Draybeck got his first nightly victory for the year. This is his 32nd victory lifetime. Then we have Flying Bricks. Sarah Hansen got her first nightly victory for the year.
Nice.
Les Paul 99. Michael Casario.
He is such a nice guy.
Nightly victory for the
Michael's
year.
the best.
And then, speak of the devil, Stewie 13, Stuart Carriage got his first nightly victory for the year. That is his 4th victory overall this year.
And it's like we're like halfway through. I guess it's almost the end of February here. That's impressive. That's like Kiki level
Well, actually,
domination.
this next one was his fourth victory because on February 19th, he won the daily mixed practice event to get the fourth victory. So that was 3 wins in
Wow.
1 week. 3
Wow.
wins in 1 week. That's pretty
Wow.
impressive.
Might have to put that on the list for one of those impressive performances of the year.
Yes, it is.
Do know
Timing
some
is
people.
everything,
It's true.
Then we have basic tax. John Pilak got his first international victory. Then Blue Rooney, Jim Wright,
Yeah, it happens
Blusterini,
every
Jim
once in a
Reed.
while.
Got his first international victory for the year.
Yeah, felt good.
Excellent. That does once again show that anyone can win these things.
All you have to do is show up, folks. Just show up. They'll give you a pin.
Then Shamu 27-140. Roger Lamp
Roger
won the daily LPP victory. So you can contact Jim at rec.poker to earn your free month to Learn Pro Poker.
There you go. Roger's such a cool guy. He's been around. He's been a Rec Poker member for a long time too. So I'm glad he got a chance to sign up for a free month at Learn Pro Poker. He's going to have a lot of fun with that. And I just want to say it was especially. I was very touched to win 2 bronze pins this month. Some listeners might know my dad passed away recently, and this was a very emotional month for me. It sounds kind of silly, but I signed up for that tournament thinking of him, and there were 22 entrants in the tournament. My favorite number is 22. I feel like I know who the 22nd player was, and it was just a really nice way for me to honor my dad, to put this little pin right here on the hat. So thank you, John, for all you do there. And thanks to everyone here and everyone on the Wrecking Crew who really helped me get through a pretty tough time. And so I really appreciate that. It's times like this when you know how lucky you are, when you've got great people like this to surround yourself with. So it does mean a lot to me, and I'm very grateful to all of you. So we've got some exciting stuff coming up. Rob, in chronological order, March 2nd, getting Michael Acevedo back to talk about modern poker theory. Tell us a little bit about what we're going to be getting into when it comes to Wednesday night.
We're going to have Michael Acevedo on. We had 19 full sessions to cover the book, and we had an extra session last session where we did a recap of some of the concepts that generated the most discussion. So I'm reaching out to anybody who has a question that they want to ask Michael Acevedo. Throw it in the forums, put it in the group, send me a tweet, whatever, at Radman50, however you want to communicate that. But if you have some specific questions about the book for Michael Acevedo, let me have them. And during that session, we are going to be giving away the video package for Modern Poker Theory. And I put together a spreadsheet of all the people, anybody that retweeted the tweet that we sent out on this, anybody that's a member of the group, anybody that has participated in the actual sessions, and then anybody that has put a forum post in the book study forum. All of those added up, and it's like 60 different entries, not all unique. People like Keith Brandt's got all 4. Yep. He's got 4 chances at it. So anyway, we're going to have that drawing, and it's going to be on that day. So looking forward to that.
That's awesome. And just, I got to chip in. If there's a single book that you could really use a video course, a book study course, and then also a follow-up Q&A with the author, this is the book. There's a lot in here that it would be good to get a little help unpacking this, I think. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm anxious to go back through and reread it because there's so much there that I probably just skimmed over a lot of it and haven't internalized a lot of it. So anyway, yeah, it's a very, very concise book. It has a lot of information in there. And if somebody would actually take the time to study it, they may become a good poker player.
I think you're right, buddy. So that's on the 2nd. If you're hearing this on the day it comes out or the day after it comes out, it's not too late. Go to rec.poker, sign up for a premium membership. It's only $5 if you use the code RECPOKER, and just join the conversation. You got a whole month of access, And so you can see all the other training videos, look behind the curtain with some of our other training partners in our Learning with Partners programs. I guarantee you it's the best $5 you're going to spend getting better at poker and having a great time doing it. So check that out. And I do encourage people to join us for that, because Michael Acevedo is someone to talk to in poker. So if you can do that, you should.
And then keep a lookout too. We're going to try to decide what the next book study should be. So we've got a lot of suggestions from a lot of people. We're going to go through some sort of process to decide which book it's going to be. And hopefully we'll be able to get started on that on March 16th.
Right on. I'm looking forward to that.
March 16th.
And then the following Wednesday, we're kind of changing the focus. The focus every month, Chris Jones has been using different software programs to get inside the minds of pros and to look at hands through the lens of different programs. We're going to kind of pivot towards just looking at the programs themselves. There's so many great solvers, training tools, equity calculators, poker tracking, things like that, that every month we're going to take a look at one in particular, and we're going to invite the creator or the developer to come on and explain how it works to our members. We're going to try and get a discount code for our members that participate to come and get a discount on that product. So the first one coming out is going to be on March 9th, Wednesday, March 9th. That's going to be with KL Cleaton from Range Trainer Pro. And I mean, personally speaking, I think Range Trainer Pro is my favorite training tool. It's easy to use. It's fast. You can do it anywhere. It's on your phone. It's got a series of different ways to test yourself rigorously. It gives you great feedback immediately. And it's been developed by KL and Ryan LaPlante and some of the other great people at LPP. And KL's just such a wonderful guy, and he's so generous with his time. And he really, just like Jake and a lot of the people that we like to work with, he just really wants to share his love of poker. And I can't say enough things. I can't say enough good things about Range Trainer Pro. So folks can come and join us for that one on March 9th. And then the brackets. So John Somsky helped program a bracket prediction system. I think they're all being shared in the Rec Poker forums. So it's free. You can go to the community there, sign up, look at the forum for the Marek Madness prediction. And I don't know if we've announced a prize for that, but I think we're at least going to give out a free month at Rec Poker for whoever has the best bracket. John, am I butchering that too badly, or am I mostly down the middle of the road?
You're kind of right. So the software that I wrote actually just lets you choose and fill out your own bracket. It doesn't help you predict anything. It has no ESP. There's no, anything paranormal about it. But what it does do is allows you to easily select everything. And then if you can cut and paste the results of that into the forum. Unfortunately, the forum software is a little finicky on how it eats up and gobbles all the white space. So you have to put some carriage returns in there or use the pre-formatted option on the when you post your information. But be sure you include the code that is in there, because then Taylor can take that code, enter it into his spreadsheet, so he'll know what your pick was, and then he can figure out who has the best bracket going forward.
Amazing. And it's quite Taylor isn't on the show tonight, but I am so impressed with what he has put together for this Marek Madness. So this is a 16 player bracket. All the matches are going to be played on Poker Now with whole cards exposed. So we're going to be able to, the players won't be able to see obviously, but we'll be able to see everyone's cards. We've got a series of rounds of commentating set up with some guest commentators and guest announcers to come in all through the month of March. On Thursday nights on Taylor's Twitch stream, you'll get to see some of these matches play out. And I think we're going to have a really fun time putting it together. I've seen what Taylor's put into it from an organizational point of view, and I'm impressed. And I'm a guy that likes to overplan, so that's saying something.
Yeah, he's done a lot. He's put a lot of work into this, and I think it'll be a lot of fun.
Yeah, me too. I had the bad luck of drawing Kim Kilroy as my first round opponent. So I'm just going to start hitting the books real hard. I got a few days to get my act together, study up on my heads up play. I'm going to introduce some sneaky limps. I'm coming for you, Kim. You're not going to know it hit you.
I think that was an easy draw compared to I draw Jacob Kiki.
Uh-oh.
He did last year. You know what he did last year? He only called his shot and won 20 tournaments.
That's true. That's true.
Maybe both of you'd be better off just, closing your eyes and hitting the buttons and seeing if, just pure random dumb luck can overcome.
That's usually my strategy anyway. I don't know if you've been reading my mail, John, but what's nice about it is that it's completely unexploitable, right? Think about it. Can't be cracked. Can't be cracked. All right. Well, I want to shout out a couple premium members that joined over the last little while. Mike Williams is a new premium member. Mike, I haven't had a chance to get to know you personally, but I hope that you're enjoying the videos and the strategy conversations. And I really do encourage you, Mike, come and join the conversations. Come join the live sessions in the evenings. You get a lot more out of the subject matter when you're engaging actively with the material. So I do hope I get to see your face one of these days soon, like I do with Kevin Lilly. Kevin joined a little while ago, and Kevin's been fairly active in some of those strategy conversations. He's brought some great insights and some good questions into the conversation. So Kevin, I hope you're enjoying a very cold February. I know I'm also trying to get through. We're in a similar climate, I know. So Kevin, you don't be a stranger. And I hope I get to see more of you as we continue on our journey through poker together. What else, folks? Anything else we should bring to the audience before we wrap this baby up and go record a forums edition of the podcast, get into some strategy? All right, well then I want to tell everyone that it does take a lot of support to run a place like this. We want to be great. We want to do great things. We want to bring our love of poker to people on a lot of different levels, and it takes support. So if you want to go to rec.poker/support, you can find ways to help us out without spending a dime, and also some ways to spend a dime or two. Now, lots of ways, whatever's good for you, time, money, love, we appreciate all of it. I got some really nice emails today from some premium members. So I just wanted to say thanks to everyone who's been in touch. And it's just, I feel very grateful to be part of this wonderful group. So I'd like to thank Running Aces Hotel, Racetrack and Casino, website AMP, and everybody here for being so great. And Steve Fredlin, of course. And enjoy yourselves, Rec Poker.